Il fait toujours beau au-dessus des nuages, mais moi si j'étais un oiseau, j'irais dans... You will get a notification that says we're recording, and all you have to do is hit got it, and we can get started. All right, so welcome to our creative burst. A little bit about why I love a creative burst. Engaging in our creativity doesn't take a whole lot of time. It really only requires maybe a few minutes in a moment that's all your own, where you can kind of steal away, maybe pour a cup of tea or coffee, light a candle, put on some nice music, and set your artistic spirit free. Even if it's for 5 or 10 minutes, I will show you today what is possible and fun and easy. So I thought it would be cool, since it's been very cold, to think spring and make some sunny, no-brainer watercolor blob flowers with some yellow and red watercolor that we can mix up into several shades of oranges, yellows, and reds. And we will use, I'm going to flip the camera on in a minute, but if you have some watercolors and watercolor paper, that's really all you need right now. Some water, of course. And I'm going to demonstrate these lovely sunny watercolor blob flowers for you. So let's go ahead and flip the camera around. And I just need to set this so it's not blurred. Otherwise, you won't be able to see what I'm doing. Let me get rid of this background effect. Okay. And then I'm gonna flip the camera. Hold on. And there we go. And zoom in on my little table that I've been working near the window. It's nice to have natural light when you're painting. Everything looks better in natural light, including our paintings. So just gonna show you here. I created some blobs of watercolor on a very small piece of 100% cotton paper. This is by Arche or Arches. I'm not quite sure how to say the name. And it's 140 pound, 100% cotton paper. It really works nicely. It's a great surface that will keep you wanting to use watercolors. Sometimes if you use a watercolor paper that's not 100% cotton, you might get a little frustrated with your results, but this really, even blobs look good on it. So this is where we're going. And I'll show you the brush that we're going to use. Use whatever brush you have, whatever paper you have. This is Princeton number 6, and it's a round. So the round brushes give you lots of potential to make all kinds of beautiful marks. And honestly, if you have all you have is a round brush, you are in really good shape. So let's go ahead, and I'm gonna demonstrate how I made these cute little blobs. And then we'll go work back into them after they dry to create some leaves and other little embellishments. How, you know, kind of, we'll just let our artistic spirit guide us. So I'm going to dip my, got some water here. I'm going to let somebody else in. Welcome to all of you. So glad you're here. Okay, dipping into the water. Gonna grab some of these. I just poured out a little bit of primary red and primary yellow, and I'm just letting an array of oranges, reds, and yellows occur here right on this little kitchen plate. Again, don't need to even have a palette, just a plate will do. And I'm gonna go in with my wet brush and water onto the dry surface. And I'm gonna just make a blob, okay? Just a little blob. Then I'm gonna go back into the red. You can use whatever color you like. And I'm gonna let it bloom onto that previous shade. Just tapping around. Let's see if I can zoom in nice and close for you. Just letting this blob kind of smear out. And you can make it whatever size you like. Don't give it a whole lot of thought. Keep it loosey-goosey. And then we'll make another one. And you can vary your sizes. Just think flowers. Think impressionism. You know, we're not going for a lot of detail or realism here. We're keeping it fresh and fun and lively. Especially on a Saturday, we want to just keep things chill, right? Everybody's been working hard all week and we want to unwind and enjoy the process. And this is where we learn, you know, when we just step into the play, stay in play mode, because then you don't get all up in your head and you keep it fresh and fun. So I'm just going to work my way around this little cute piece of watercolor paper, making various flowers with a blobby kind of approach. And then you can go back into a different color and let it sort of bleed and bloom into that previous shade that you put down. And kind of keep your brush moving. Try not to stay in one place too long. Kind of bop around. Now I chose to go with, you know, the yellows, the oranges, and the reds, but maybe you're feeling pink. Maybe you're going with blue. Whatever color's speaking to you, then use it. But it's fun to see the variations that come about when you're not trying too hard. You get these little happy accidents, as Bob Ross calls them. And really, really fun. I'll bring this a little closer so you can see the variations, how pretty they are. Okay, so how's everybody doing? Let me check the chat and see if anyone's said anything. No, everyone's being quiet in the zone. That's okay. Just gonna go like this. You'll see me out my window because I gotta fix it back to landscape. One woman show with the camera. Excuse me. Okay, so I've got a nice array of watercolor blob flowers right now. And I want to work back into them today using a micron pen. Any kind of permanent marker or colored pencil would be a great choice because we're going to go back in and create some really fun, flowy, gestural leaves and stems on these flowers. So this is a micron pen. It's what size is it? See if I can get that in there, get it focused. 05. And the nice thing is, once this is dry, these don't bleed. So it's a good choice if you use some kind of ink that is, you know, water safe, water fast. And I'm just gonna take my blow dryer. I'll put this one in here so you can see, but while you're taking a look at this first one, I'm gonna hit this other one with the blow dryer real quick. So I'm gonna mute so you don't have to listen. So it'll only take a couple seconds. Hang on one sec. Okay, so here's this one's just been to the salon, got a nice little blowout, and it's dry. Okay, it's It's really a wonderful little tool to have a little blow dryer handy if you don't have the patience or the time to let the watercolor dry, so that you can work in with your next layer of either pencil or ink. All right, so let's go ahead and give these beauties some stems and leaves. And this is really a fun, chill, relaxing, meditative part of it. Just allowing your imagination to guide you and your pen. Just gonna make some little flourishes. These are my fantastical flowers. Nothing that you would really see in reality, but kind of inspired by it. Let's see if I can go just a little lower for you. So I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna let my stem go down and work its way to the bottom behind some of these other watercolor flower blooms. So they're kind of going to get some interest by visual interest, if you will, by overlapping. And I'm just going to make some fun and funky leaves. And just continue using the same little marker or pencil that you decided to go back in with. And keeping it flowy and loosey-goosey. And my camera, I'm sorry, it's shaking quite a bit. But this is something that, you know, you can create your own little post-it cards, postcards, greeting cards. It's really a lovely little technique that you can share with somebody. Put a little note inside or on the back or in a sweet little frame and set it next to your bed. And remember that you are a creative soul and that you made something beautiful in just a short amount of time because you honored yourself in a moment of creativity that is all your own. Oh, somebody is coming in. Just 1 second. How's everyone doing? Hope you're having fun. I'm having a blast. This is kind of addicting, this little approach to doing a floral. It really kind of lets you off the hook because when you just hear blob, it doesn't sound so intimidating as maybe, oh, I'm going to try to paint a rose or a tulip or something, you know, maybe that you haven't given a go yet. And I think, quite honestly, it's just as beautiful. Sometimes what comes out of our imagination surprises us, doesn't it? So just continue to do your mark making, your line work on each of the blobs that you painted earlier. Adding leaves. And then after I get this one done, I think I'm going to go in and do maybe a little bit of pen work inside of the blooms. And kind of try to make your leaves go in different directions for interest's sake. So I'll bring this up and kind of let you see what's going on. This is really turning out quite lovely. Grooving on it. All right, so I'm going to come in and I'm going to add some detail inside of my flower. Twisted the centers. And I hope that by now you are in the beautiful flow state, feeling peaceful and inspired, just like you did when you were a little kid making your art, maybe mud pies, or maybe it's the way you feel when you're preparing dinner. You get kind of in the zone of creativity. You're in your own little world. Excuse me. There's so many ways for us to express ourselves, aren't there? And the creative space affords us so many beautiful benefits. I love to share each time we gather that when you are in your creative zone, it quiets our mind, it lowers our blood pressure, it helps us later in the day to be better problem solvers. So it's kind of like the gift that keeps on giving. I think it gives you joy too, to carry over into your relationships. Just the very act of making and creating brings us so much joy. So I'm liking those little details in the center. And I'm going to beef up some of these leaves just by going in and giving some linear strokes. And you could add marker, colored pencil. You could even go back in with more paint. So just think thicks and thins, overlapping. Just provide some more interest and detail to your watercolor flower blobs. Looking really nice. I hope you're pleased with what you are doing in this creative burst. And I hope you see that it really doesn't take very much time to kickstart your creativity with a creative burst. It's going to leave you longing to keep going, and I hope you will throughout your day. Maybe you'll just keep going after we say goodbye, or maybe it'll just encourage you to do this throughout your week, carving out that time and making a little art that brings you joy and inspiration and can even be used to frame or give as a gift. I'm sure a friend or loved one would love to get this from you. So I'm gonna just top this off with a little splatter, going into my water, onto my palette, kind of getting my brush pretty wet. And I'm gonna do some tapping with another brush. Let's see, I'd have to raise my camera just a tad so I have room. There we go. Top this off with a little splatter technique. See how this goes. Oh yeah, there we go. A little more water, a little more paint. This adds a nice dimension. Just one more layer of color, texture. And you decide how it's going to lay. Just kind of direct your brush. There we go. And like I said, you can go back in and add as much detail, texture, and mark making as you like. Remember to sign your work. And remember that it is just the first of many, many more. Because you, my friend, are an artist. And it is always good to spend time honoring that part of you. So thank you so much for being here. Does anyone have any questions? I've loved seeing everyone. Thank you, Anna, and Carmen, Gloria, Mary, and Sharon, and Susan. Loved having you here. If you could just maybe let me know how you liked this creative burst today and what you took away from it. Did you enjoy the technique? Are you happy with your results? Are you going to keep going? Don't be shy. I love to hear, and it's great for me to get the feedback. Before I let you go, I'd love to know what your thoughts are. I have a look in the chat. Okay. Well, feel free to share at Inner Spring Studio on Instagram what you created, or in my Facebook group, Inner Spring Studio at Facebook. And let me see, yep, it happens every time. Whenever I go to the chat, it flips my camera. Anna, great. Okay, let me get to Anna. Anna says, I like using my colorful, oh, you have colorful micron pens. Ooh, what colors are they? Can you share? I honestly have never used a colorful micron pen. I've always gotten the black ones, but I would love to experiment with those. Awesome. Boop. There we go. All basic colors is great. Great. Anybody else? Thanks so much, Anna. I got to give those a go. Anyone else want to share what they played with? What supplies you enjoyed working with today? Well, keep watching your inbox. I'm going to be doing a workshop for Valentine's Day coming up, and we'll we'll be doing some mixed media techniques, watercolor, color pencil, pens, all the fun stuff, and focusing on mark making with the Valentine theme. Keep an eye on your inbox, and I hope you'll join. It'll be a lot of fun. It's always fun to make stuff for Valentine's Day. All right, everybody. So let me see here. I don't see any more in the chat, so I'm going to let you go. Really loved having you here. Keep an eye on your inbox for more events from Lynniemarie at Inner Springs Studio, and keep making your art. Have a lovely weekend. Bye, everybody. You're so welcome, Sharon. Have a good one. Bye-bye.